So, hello everyone, and welcome to Woodworking Wisdom. I'm Jason. Some of you probably know that. I don't know. Maybe you're new. If you're new, that's great. We're pleased to see you. All right? Okay, so as we said, I'm Jason. Today, we're going to lead on from, I think, Colwyn's thing that he did in the week. He did a couple of eggs, which we're going to do 2 eggs this afternoon. I'm sorry, we're going to repeat stuff, but a little bit different. We're going to make a bunny. All right? Can't be difficult to make a bunny, can it? I mean, my biggest problem with this, I've had to tie these down this week. I've had 3 or 4 people walk in and try, and Steph sat over here laughing where I saw the other day. That's nice. Put it back. Okay. All right. I need that for Thursday. So got that scenario where it's amazing how popular they've been sat on a table and they haven't managed to wander off. But I've had to kind of reinforce it. So we're going to do a simple little bunny. All right. Start to finish. Let's just move a couple. I'm going to put them back in their box down here. Look. So a bunny is based on 2 eggs. We've obviously got to do some ears. We can have an optional tail. I've had a few people going, I like the tail. Other people don't. So, I mean, we can, but then you get a hole. So we've got to put it back in this one. Okay. So we've got our simple bunny. All right. So Mark Beckett, this is a fluffy. Okay. Only you'll understand that, I think. So let's get going. All right. So we're going to move our table. I will want it later, but I'm going to put it up out the way for a minute. Going to use a set of ring centers. All right. Throughout. My favorite centers. That's a really weird line, isn't it? The fact that I have a favorite set of centers, but no matter where I go, have to have a set of ring centers. Material, going to use some laburnum. All right, so I've got some log material I've cut up. You could use anything. From memory, and it is a memory thing, there's the write-up you got to remember we've done with this. There's pictures, so if you get stuck and you didn't want to watch the video again, why would you not? You can read the write-up, okay? It gives you the sizes, but I think we need something about 70 mil square-ish, about 90 mil long, okay? About those, and then this is 30 mil diameter by 50, roughly. It's not set in stone, we can alter it. Ring centers, why? They don't mark the material very deep. They provide really good access. So I can get closer to the workpiece, as in shape-wise, extend it a bit more. So I'm just finding the center of the log now. Let's do that up, back it back just a little bit, make sure we haven't lifted the tailstock. Spin it by hand on the small center points. That looks good. Let's put a bit of pressure in. Hopefully camera's right today. We had a few issues on Tuesday with the over one dropping out, which was really annoying. Robust to rest. Let's bring that in. Like I said, real simple project. But this is taking something where you can have, if you like, an egg. And we're going to go through that shape. Exactly the same as we did on Tuesday. All right, show you how you can finish it off, but then take it a little bit further. I mean, I will say I've got to make 6 wooden Easter egg cups for Easter to put eggs in, okay? My wife didn't want 6 wooden eggs turning for some weird reason. I don't know, chocolate's more appealing, but a bunny? Oh, you're never going to beat a bunny. All right, so, bowl gouge. Turn it over by hand. We can bring the speed up gently. Okay, where are we up to? 1695, so 1700-ish. Left that I put out of the way. Bowl gouge, 1/4 inch. I can roll it. So at the moment the flute is dead upright facing me. I can roll over. Put it on its side. That way I can push along with my left fingers and thumb. And we're going to basically put the shavings on the floor away from me. You could use your spindle wrapping gouge. I can't keep talking if I do it. So this is a better way of me working to keep you entertained, if you like. Lovely shavings, okay? One of my favourite woods. So laburnum, you know, I can remember actually being given the option when I did a wood turning course at the age of 14 of being able to choose the wood first before the adults that had paid to be there. I'd paid to be there. And I chose the laburnum because it had a white sapwood dark centre. I thought it was something really unusual and exotic. No, just an English material. So we're down to a cylinder. We're going to do the bottom of the egg. Finger and thumb. Drop the handle of the gouge down. So I'm down on my leg a bit more now. I can gently bring the handle up. Find the cut. So we've got that seesaw action. You can't really see too much here. So I'm swinging the handle up and down. That's better shot stuff. Gently coming up, we get a shaving. Now we're going to drive. Come around. There. Gently up, find our cut again. Drive round. I'm shifting my weight to my left foot. My body is actually in line with the headstock. Bring it back round. Next little bit. Each cut I'm going a little bit further in towards that tailstock centre. Well, a little bit more here. Now I've got to remove the centre dot out of the way. That's quite nice. So I'm looking at my shape, getting a nice curve. And like I'm saying, this is looking at this being the bottom of your egg, if you like. I mean, Colwyn really got pushed on Tuesday to hurriedly get through this. Be nicer to give you a bit more scope of what we're doing. So tailstock centre, as we said, ring centre, we've got good access into there. Now normally, and if we go main camera, I've already said to you where my body stands. I'm out here in line with the headstock. Right, I'm a long way out, but actually I'm in line with what I want to look at here. If I do the other side and I'm working towards the headstock, I've got to move the handle in to me. Actually means my body's going to lean back a little bit more. Now, I can manage it. I've got good experience of doing this, but we got into the conversation with this when we did the camera work for the blog. Now, most of us, if you're naturally right-handed, why not turn the work round? Okay, so we've already got our centre mark, so I can find the ring. There it is. I can now naturally work right-handed. I'm in view of it. I'm not having to lean back, so I'm not seeing what's happening as much. So that's a real benefit of that ring centre again. And shape it down again. So as we've already said, we've got stuff in here doing camera work. Sorry, Steph, that was an insult. Sorry, we've got Super Steph. I'm just Jason. I mean, yeah, I'm getting a bit worried now. Super Steph and I'm just Jason.
You're just getting jealous.
So, bring it round. So, rust the bevel again. So important on here. Come back, gently up with the handle. Find our cut. We're extending our shape more and more. We're getting nearer to the tailstock. That's good. A little bit more. Bring it up round. I know I've got to lose the tailstock pin mark. Having a feel of what's going on. Slight line there. And I mean, wow, that's very small. That's beautiful. That gets rid of that. I want a little bit more, I think. Just up there. Tricky turning an egg shape. Maria put a lovely comment on Tuesday that she wanted egg shape but without flat bottoms. And they don't stand up. Okay, so we got our shape. That looks pretty good. Let's drop things back out of the way. Going to take the speed down. Got a little bit of sanding to do now. So let's bring in our nozzle. Just going to turn the extractor on. 150 grit to start with. I find a bit that's better. Wrong one. 2.4. Speed I want a bit slower. More access with to rest as well. I can work from above. We're going to come in underneath. A quick look, see what's going on, making sure we're getting rid of things. $2.40. $400. Oh, got reach. So while we've got it held on here, let's throw a coat of cellulose sealer on. That brings the colour out. So brushed on, wipe it off. Oh, what a timber. Fantastic grain in this. Right, so, one. Gonna go smaller, hoping this is going to work all right. I was trying to find something suitable, but I wanted to use the laburnum log. And do you think I can find a bit? This sort of size, we've probably used it all. Just trying to find something. Give me about 30mm diameter, about 50mm long. I can find stuff that's smaller. A lot of this we use for things like the mushrooms we made. So this has got a branch coming off the side. Might make it more interesting. Might make it more interesting to turn.
I'm sure it's going to look
Better
lovely.
clear the Taurus. Look, okay. Bit of a lump. Let's bring that up gently. Good thing with the ring centered again, we get that slip, that clutch. So we're going to do the same as we've just done. On its side. Push the shavings off. I don't want too much diameter off. Let's just have a quick look, see where we are. The bark we can lose. That'll be good. Ideally, I want it the other way around, so we're going to go the hard way then. Let's do the bottom of the egg. Up on here. So dropping back down with the handle, gently raise it up. 40 starts, it's quite a long way out. Makes it tricky to see that last little bit. Got a little bit of bark, I'm just chasing around the centre. Gently coming up. Panicking it doesn't look quite long enough. It we're going to manage. Again, fingertips. This little bit, tell there's a tiny little lump. You won't see it too much on the camera. There's a little bump there. Let's blend that in. So smaller egg done. Let's put the gouge out the way for a second. Okay, good. Create some rum. Again, 150. A quick look, make sure we've got everything, fingertips. Not bad. 2-4. $400. Lose the extractor. Again, we can do the sealer. Oh no.
No,
Hi,
it's
Steph,
not.
how are you?
I'm lovely, thank you. It's not
Okay, what you got?
necessarily a question. It's not a question.
Hang on,
but-
I'm just going to show you because on Tuesday we had a pair of eggs, so I want to make sure that I'm showing you where we're up to on my pair of eggs. Okay. All right. Yep. So.
Well, this is from Maria. She said that the smaller egg, that's more what she was looking for on Monday. So nice one.
On Tuesday.
Tuesday, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Tuesday. So. Colwyn did quite big eggs.
He did. Yeah.
Maria said they were a pair. A pair is definitely a different shape than that, Maria. All right. So I'm sorry. All right, they were very good actually, but tricky to get right as a shape. Colwyn didn't say when he worked with Jeff, and I met Jeff years ago. They actually used to production, if you like, turn eggs out of some really exotic materials: snakewood, cocobolo, kingweed. He had a whole display stand full of different eggs, and they even had a couple of collectors that were purely by wooden eggs. That was exciting, wasn't it?
I mean, that's unusual.
Okay, right. I thought you'd get that. It's extravagant, isn't it? Let's finish the eggs first, and then we got to do the ears. So we'll have to reset in a minute to put the ears on. Okay. So we take out the ring drive. We want to chuck. So 100 mil sigils, basic chuck. Chuck key. We want something to hold it. So wood chuck. Oh, that want to work. Oh, so we have it that way around. So you kind of Gavin, we regularly use. I never throw anything away. All right, I keep. Stop laughing.
I can attest
All
to
right,
that.
okay. I keep every little bit of timber. So if you part something off, I have a box of these. Scrap wood doesn't grow on trees; it's getting expensive. So we need to kind of look after it. So I've got little piles of these. So jam chucks I've made over the years never go in the bin. And yeah, I have a wood burner. All right, so I've even put fire or bag or material into the firewood bag, only then to get it in the house and take it back out. All right, now we want to line this egg up nice and true. Easiest way, let's use that ring center. There you go. Now we just got to hope it stays in here. How about that? Nice and true, properly lined up. Have a good thing. I'm just going to bring the tool rest right round the front. Okay. Light cuts. Ooh, too high. I like a tiny bit. It does make a difference. Now again, gouge technique's so important on this. I'm doing this weird grip I really like. Overhead camera will probably show us a little bit on frailer. I grip around the tool rest. The risk with this, and again, Tuesday, trying to throw things in and cover quite a list of things to make. If you come too far around with your handle for your gouge and you engage the cutting tip and not rest the bevel, you get an egg with a spiral up it. Quite amazing, back through. It looks stunning, but you never get two the same. And it's really difficult to clean out. So we're coming in here and being a bit nearer. I've got my thumb in behind it. I've got lots of room to get the handle down the side of my body. Bit pointed at the moment. Let's take a bit off the top, feel what's going on. That looks good. I want to come back a bit more. So again, resting the bevel, gently coming up. Push round. Left thumb's doing some work. Right hand's going out. Fantastic. That bit's done. Let's get quick sound on there. So we drop the speed down at 150. Check it's nicely cleaned up. We don't want a flat bottom. I wonder if penguin eggs are flat. Penguin eggs stand up. I've got a funny feeling a penguin egg will actually stand up when it's and how it has to rest.
Well, we'll have to put that question to Maria because she's the penguin queen. She knows everything about penguins.
So, going through our grades up to our 400, okay? Look, I told you before it'd be boring without this conversation if we didn't have these sort of things. A little bit of sealer. We can wipe that off. Axminster saw. Now, weird thing I can do, which you guys can't see, I've just done the knockout bar all the way through the headstock. That's a real good selling point for this machine on the aspect. I can pass it all the way through the chuck as well. So instead of having to take that cut chuck back out, I can do that. I made stuff. Let's get us back. Right, okay, where you go?
So Maria said that penguin eggs don't stand up on their end. They're just like normal eggs, but they sit on the penguin's feet during incubation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question here from Mark Beckett. He's
Fluffy.
asking, Fluffy, yeah, how many eggs have you turned over the decades, do you think?
Not many. Not many. I've never been one that turned wooden eggs and kind of go, that's going to be like an Easter thing. It's a weird and wonderful thing. But it's like anything as a shape. But actually, if you start looking into this as a thing, as a spindle turner, an egg's quite a common shape in some of the spindle works, banister rails and stuff. So you are still building that shape. The whole thing about finishing little bits off, which goes back to Maria's thing, a flat bottom. If you part them off, you've got to figure out how you're going to remount things. That's always that battle. How to go that little bit. All right. So not many eggs, Mark. I'm not saying I can't. I just didn't find them exciting. It wasn't that ecstatic. I can't get good money for them, so they might have been exuberant. I don't know. So, lots of these now. Same thing again. We want to curve this round. This is the bottom edge. Aim to take off that little centre dot. Going to come round a little bit. We're not bad actually. That's quite nice. Ooh, that feels good. We're going to leave it. Leave it. You have that problem. You get last cut syndrome. Just one more cut. It's a wood turning thing, Steph. Samaritans do counselling for it. Last cut syndrome. Right. Okay. So round. That gives us a rounded bottom. That's 1, 2. This is the 400. Sealer I've put in the corner now. We're moving things about. We can seal that. Come up back over. If we go back to Mark's question, how many eggs? Nah. Wooden balls, thousands. Solitaire balls, Christmas time a year ago, I got a little bit carried away cutting the blocks up. We did about 1,000 in a week in my evenings. You just switch off. Just get on with it. So, 1 egg. A lovely colour. Can't beat it, can you? Oh, smaller one. So Maria, we're going to do exactly the same thing, hopefully. I've got these made and I know that it'd be nice to get them to fit. I've got a couple of emergency bits of wood if we get stuck, but nicer things fit. It saves time. And I said to you, don't throw these away. Keep hold of them, keep them in the box. They're double-ended, so I can put them either way in the chuck. They taper towards the middle. We've done quite a lot with these over the years, different things where we taper in. All right, so such an important part of what we do. Which way round should we have it? Which way? That's smaller there. Is it going to... Okay. Check I'm gripping on the right bit. That's better. Or we could have done an off-centre egg. That was one of Mark's questions I seem to recall on Tuesday. An off-centre egg. Okay, squeeze that in. That sounded good. This is the top of, I think. Was the top, wasn't it? Okay.
Don't ask me. I'm not the turner.
Can you just rewind it a bit and we can have a look?
Afraid not.
Okay, so, I want to come round a bit. I don't want Steph having to catch this. Nice and gently with the tip of the gouge. Just the bevel. I'm gently coming up with the handle to give that seesaw action of lowering that bevel on. 2, 1. Bring that up, blending into what we've sanded. Let's go to the knockout bar again. If I can find it. Lost it again. Okay. It's a bit like chuck keys. You can never have enough. It's all right now. I've got it. Look. So we pushed that out. I was going to pass it back through the headstock. Again, just going to use that center. So lock it off. Gently wind in. Yeah, we could do it with a mallet, but that gets me spot on. Bottom of. Bit more rounded, got to come round a bit more. So left thumb's working a lot here, pushing the tip, flutes about 2 o'clock, following around with the right arm. So the handle's going away from my body, that creates that little curve. The major thing with that, rest that bevel before you try and take the cut. So you don't just dig in and hope you're going to cut. A little bit fast, let's come down a bit. Okay, so sealer done. Pushed out, smaller egg. Okay, let me just, okay, right. Ooh, okay. We done enough now? No? Oh, sorry, got to make a bunny, haven't we? Okay. So, all right. So, chuck can come off. Got to do the ears, all right? Now, who'd have heard about how we could do the ears nicely on camera? So, we have a piece of material. This is small bit of laburnum. I cut it out of a log. That goes back to our bandsaw sawing video that we did with a log. I made up a little jig to hold this so I could get the first 2 cuts. Once I've done those, I can make it square. All right, wanted it to look similar to what we've done for the body. Now I need to centralize it. Nice thing with the ring centers again, well out on the headstock there. I've got a little bit of movement. I can position things, spin it over by hand. This end I'm a little bit out. That's not bad. A little bit that way. Yeah, happy with that now. That'll look good. Okay. Lock off to there. Okay, right, sorry, I just got my magic wand out and I got all excited then. It's like, okay, what have you got?
Sorry, Anna, we had a question from Anna earlier. She asked, how many jigs do you have? You must have thousands by now.
How many jigs?
Mm.
What to do? So like these? I don't know, I've got a box.
But I guess you've got other jigs as well for
different things.
Making Windsor chairs.
Different things. So you get wood plate jaws. I've got a whole range of different things that you store in the hope you might do that job again or something similar. Yeah, just so there is that, and they get to a stage where you kind of go, get rid of it now. All right, so gradually do wear stuff out. That's the aim anyway. Okay. Occasionally I will vandalise certain things and go, I'll use it for something else. But yeah, you try and keep hold of stuff. All those little bits you part off, you part a vase off, or Colwyn did his goblet. Exactly the same thing. I kept up. Yeah. So the bit of cherry you part off. Oh yeah, we'll keep this. This will be useful. Always got a use for a jam chuck. Okay, skew chisel. I'm going to use it a bit like a parting tool to start with. We want to keep the square corners either end. Turn over. Okay, down to a circle. There, let's remove it so either end, and we'll show you a bit clearer in a second. Fingertips not quite round, flip it over. Nearly. So first stage with this, I'm going to stop the lathe so you can see it. We've got the square section either end. That is important. Okay. So let's go on with our shaping. Bit there. Let's come up this end. I'm going to use point of my skew a little bit. Now we're using the bottom third, rest the bevel, push along. So working tailstock end first because that's furthest away from the power source. So if I make it weak here, if I go back to the headstock and we've taken too much out, we wouldn't get the structural strength to hold this. How longer ears do we want? Okay. A little bit on there. That's quite good. Come back. Just build our shape. Want to take a little bit more off. Right down in there. Turn over again so I can use the long point to create a break line. That will do. Steph, is it hot in here or is it me?
No, it's actually quite
You're still cold
in
oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Got
Steph
my
sat here
radiator
with
on.
a heater on before, but next to I must be getting, I don't know, I must be getting worried about something then. All right, so just doing a little bit of sanding. 400, okay. So we've used our skew. Weird thing with the skew, no handle, and I get people asked, lighter, easier to control, asymmetric grind. Actually, it's curved on the back, hollow on the top. Still work as a skew. You've just seen me do that lovely planing cut. We built our shape. Really easy to do. So, Steph, okay, Colin.
Well, I think this is going to lead into what you're going to say next. But Maria's asked, would it be best to split the piece for the ears before or after turning?
Sorry, do I?
So to split it, so to
we
cut
haven't.
it.
Hang on. Where have we split it?
No, she said, is it better to do it before you turn it or after?
We've done it like that. So we're going to answer it in a second. That's why I'm being a bit coy now and Steph's already got the answer. I was actually just as she put her arm, I was going to say we need to. I think she's badgering the witness now or something. I mean, this is like, okay. So to this stage, no, you're going to do it like that. You could do the split turning thing where you add a bit of paper beforehand, but then you've got to cut it, glue it up, and everything else. So I kind of wondered with these, and this was the whole thing with the video. So if we just go to 3, like you can see we've got square section either end. Okay. Then in reality, so Steph want to do those 3 pictures. You're going to set up with your bandsaw. Okay. So we've got a couple of pictures we're just going to bring up. Let's do the first one then. So first thing I've done there is line up. If you look at it, you can see the block I've cut. I've lined up the center dot of the ring center. I've got to think of what we're doing now. Okay. With the center of where the blade is. Due to the fact the guide is so high on the side fence, I've used a pine button down the side, which you can see on the left-hand side, to space up so I can actually get my guides nice and low to the workpiece. Okay, so that pine button's just really acting as a spacer so I can get the guides lower. That makes it more accurate, makes it safer. Okay, so then I've locked my fence off so I know I'm in line with where the center dot was on the ring center. So then if we go to your next picture, in under this, I have a piece of MDF. If you like, a little carrier board. That means it doesn't get pulled down on the table, doesn't get dragged through. It's more supporting. You can pull anything about on that little board in reality, instead of having to get your fingers in and try and pick up those little pieces. So if anything does happen, the board's going to secure it and make it safer again. Then the next thing you've got on the third picture, a little push block. I've even got it in my hand. We'll show you in a minute. That's allowing you to push it through and you slide it through on the board. Okay, so get that. Then you can cut it in half. All right, so let's go to me then, I think, Steph. So we said our push board. That's easy enough to make. That hook's on the end of what we've just made there, and we can push it through. Nice and safely, your fingers are out the way, your side fence, and you can just rip it down the center. Once you've done that, you end up with these. And you cut the little bits off top and bottom. You've now got a nice flat surface to work on. How easy is that? Okay. No fancy gluing up, no fiddling about. Just got to remember to leave the little square bits either end. You need a Jason breech skew to do that. That's magic. Okay. So Steph's now laughing again. I'm in trouble now. Okay, right. So let's start to get on with this now. Where did you say it is? You know I've lost.
It's at the end of the workbench.
On the workbench.
In the last hole.
I've got it. I've
There
got
you
it. I can
go.
see it now. Nearest to me. I'm looking too far back. All right, we'll put it back in there. I'll remember now. Right, okay. So we've got our ears. We want sanding disc, sieges. Okay, hang on, step right. So that. Let me just load this and then I'll be all yours, right? Okay. Okay. Right, what you got?
So Wayne is asking, is laburnum a hardwood or a softwood?
Hardwood. Wayne, from memory, you live States. You might have this as golden chain tree. There's 2 or 3 names I know this. This is actually the bad thing in a minute. It's toxic. But it is definitely a hardwood. Quite oily. Beautiful to work with. Great colour. Okay. Beautiful colour variation. So definitely a hardwood. The shocking one actually that I've got in here is the one that we looked at with the tail. This is Japanese cedar. This is incredibly light. Not a lot of weight to this. That's quite a soft material and very difficult to work because it is soft. Everything's got to be really sharp. Okay, let's have a think. We've got head. Right, got a few things to do with the sanding disc now. So I'm going to put the air on. We put our Velcro back disc on here. So we've got, I think, a 120 or an 80 grip. Wow. A long way off. Yeah, a bit coarse for what I wanted. No wonder I was getting a few lines earlier. We need to do the underside of our bunny base. So it's going to sit on. Don't want too much speed, so I'm bringing the speed back down. I'm going to go there. Make sure the extractor's working for this. So we've just sanded that little flap. All right, I think you can hopefully see it. Bring my hand in. Good. That's going to be there. That's good. The head, and we need to look at the egg shape. I'll move my arm around the disc a bit. Turn this off. So we've got the front of our egg. That's going to be the front of our bunny. I'm going to line up with that mark we've just done. So we're trying to keep things level. We're putting another flat on. Down here. Down there. No, that's the big one. So that will now sit. We've got this one to do. Oh, we've got to use that. That's character. So let's turn this right over. Have that there. Just checking how they come together. So you guys probably can't quite see. They're back in a bit. One of those 2 flats to come together. Now, the one on the head's not quite as big on the base, so let's take a little bit more off. That won't hurt. I want them to be a similar size. Covering about the same area, that's not bad. They're good. Go with that. Now we can also do the ears. We can do the inside. Now the beautiful thing with this is the setup. You can change the speed. If you have a variable speed lathe, you can dial it down. 305. That means actually, if I touch it, I've still got a finger. That was intentional, I promised her. Right? If you do this with your disc sander machine, oh wow, don't do this. Let's have a look. That's the inside done. Good. One. That's nice and flat. We can take that off. Let's put them on the floor for a minute. I want drill chuck and little pad sander. Right. So you jumped up. I was worried. Oh, okay. So the little pad sander, this has got a 240 or 400 grit. We can blend the top shape. So where I cut it off, I want to make that curved. So I can just work on blending that together. I can also soften the sharp outer edge. There. A little bit on the face because we got 80 grit. Let's soften it in a bit. And again, slower speed makes it a bit safer just to control. Okay, sanded. I'm just going to turn the air off for this little bit. We now need to, we've got to drill the holes for in a minute. Just trying to see where we are. Cameras, come back in. Okay, tricky. We've got to fit this on. But if you look at it, if I bring my hand up gently, you've got to get a gap around this side of the head. So we need to put hollow into this before we do anything. All right, that makes sense. So we're going to do a couple of tasks. First one I'm going to do, I'm going to drill the hole. But that means less material to hollow out as well in a second. So we're going to go 3mm drill bit because this matches the size of the dowel I've got. Check it runs, that's good. Robust rust out. Ooh, into that table setup. Often get questions. I've had one from Lisa last week who's in charge going, what do we use for the table? So you can buy a plate that you screw onto a table. The stem on here unscrews. We have a collar so we can make it repeatable stuff. So you lock the whole lot together. Different stems, different lathes, different collars, different lathes, you name it, we can try and do it. Drop it in. I'm going to have a sight now, so I'm going to kneel down and make sure that we're about central height-wise on the ear up. Okay, on. Just have a quick look at where my dot is. I can line that up. So I'm now using my lathe little drilling machine. One hole. Flip it over. Let's do the other one. Now I just got to look at that. That looks. Where's that gonna go? That's a little bit thinner, which is a bit annoying. Too much sanding. Don't push too hard. Lip and spur drill, nice new one. Nice and sharp. It's good for this. That does my hole in there. So we have the two. Let's take the drill off. We're going to want it in a minute. Our head, a little bit big. That'll give me the. Okay, let's go smaller one. So you get things like little bobbin sanders. Again, make sure the drill chuck is nice and firmly in. I really gave it a good push. I'm going to start to create a little hollow. Belt cleaner stick. That's better. Then we want to get our head and just see how that curve is matching. Not bad, a little bit in the middle. I can even angle it so I can tilt it. That's good. One. Bit thinner this one. Turn it over again. Getting a little bit of clog. Just seeing what's going on. Check how they come together. Okay. Occasionally, might even set up a piece of wooden dowel and drag that down through. That's all I've done. A little bit of a brazier, glued on, double-sided tape. I can do that. That'll give me a curve, which hopefully will match shape of my head. So I'm trying to think of the size of the dowel roughly to match. So we're putting a slight hollow in here, so when the two come together, going to fit on nicely. Takes a little bit of effort. Slow speed again puts you more in control. Do we need this out? Yeah. So we got that out of there. Lose the belt cleaner stick. Our head at the moment is set quite nicely on there. One thing I haven't got, a pencil. So actually, we've got that there. Let's come across there. All right, I think you can see where I am. This is the head. I'm just drawing a line across. I'm set on that flat, so I know everything's level. Yep. Middle, I can say it there. I'm going to come to there. It's actually going to line up really nicely with the grain on the top of there. Cordless drill. Onto there. Let's come up a little bit there. 2, a little bit more. That goes back to the question about density. Quite hard, though. .400 grip. Lose the pencil line. And with the grown, I can easily reseal it. Three mil dowel. That's a bit tight. Let's go that end. Nice fine Japanese saw. All right, this is a Ikidam little dovetail saw. So these would be glued, but you knew that. So let's just do test, see where we are. So again, we can get our dowel in. This just adds a bit more strength, helps it stay there. I thought about using metal pins, but not really toy safe then. As much as this isn't a toy, I kind of have that view that if it does fall apart, I don't want any damage happening. So we're up to there. I've got a funny head now. Our body, that'll sit on, okay. Steph's now grinning and laughing at this, right? So we have our bunny shape. Where are we? 47. Okay. Obviously, the head and the body you can glue together. Super glue, PVA. I glued it with PVA to hold it in place. A couple of elastic bands. So easy to do. A couple of elastic bands. Now, haven't set up to do where we're heading now. But we've got through our bunny. You can see how you can do it. We could use the polishing mops. This is a bit of acacia, which was left over from one of the ones in the box. Okay. I'm waiting for someone to go, yeah, but what about the tail? All right, so let's go through how we can make the tail. I'm just checking where we are on camera. I just was worried about time on this and everything else. So we want a ball. So ring centered again. Bowl gouge on its side. We want a circle. This is, oh, I'll tell in a minute. I think they're in my pocket. No. Vernier. 20 mil. All right. So they're quite small. I don't do solitaire sets with 20 mil balls. Hard work. That's not flat. That's good. Let's bring that in. We want length, but I'm just being a bit keen. Let's see where we are. There. And there. So length equals the diameter now. .38 feeding tool. Roll that off. Standing our shape. Ooh, pull that a little bit. Let's go back round. That's better. Blending in. Feeling what's going on. Ooh. There's our little ball, right, at the moment. But Can't really pin that on the back of a bunny, can we? So we've got to finish it. Really tricky to do. And with the ball I did for the one in here, kind of that scenario of how are we going to finish it? So let's just knock out tailstock center, drive center of a chuck I've seen. Oh, it's down there. It's on the chuck hub on the wall. Where else would it be? Then we have a piece of dowel. All I've done with this is hollow the front of it. All right, that's going to go in the middle of those expanding spigot jaws. That'll run nice and true. That's beautiful. To do the tailstock, I've already done the prep. I have revolving tailstock center for pen turning. So the mandrel fits through this. Little wooden cap, slightly hollowed, fits into there. We can bring that out. What I normally use is way too big for this. A little bit of pressure. Lots of clearance off of the chuck jaws as well. Got to treat this as faceplate work. Quite a big lump to take off. It was a bit over lump in reality. So just stroking the edge of that nail. That feels pretty good. Back to that little one thing that we said about. Just feeling funny bounce. That feels pretty good. Let's have a look. 2415 has got to be that. Okay. Gonna go with that. Yeah, I know stuff. I can't see it either. So, got to get in here now. Got to move it about. Oh, it's fiddly, isn't it? Do one more, then we go up a grade. So this is the 150. I keep changing the orientation. That gets us back to a nice clean ball. 240. A little bit of pressure. A bit of slip. Wonder if it's slipping in the chocolate. Got to be something. Don't want too much slip, but I don't want too much pressure. If you get too much pressure, I'll actually bruise the surface with a ring where it's making contact in the drive. Not tight enough, you'll get a slip line. $400. No, that side. I could even hold it in a little jam chuck, but let's. Again, you can have this put in. Little step. Just going to leave this longer. There it goes. Oh, I knew it would. The only good thing is the floor's quite clean. You can find it. We could have. I'm going to go back to my. We could have a bunny tail that's hanging off a bit more. Doesn't have to be set flush. All right, I think you can see where we are. We've lost camera 2, which is 2. Oh. And then we can go to there. All right, that's the one we had that was flashed. So you can see how you can make up simple little tail, drill a hole. Last little thing before, I've still got a couple of minutes left. Take that off. That worked beautifully as a way of just holding that. Again, shocked on how many people we still get asked about this bit. Common stuff. Let's do you first because it might be relevant.
Yeah. So I've got a question from A. Thompson. He's asked, they have a 2 Morse taper lathe and a Jacob's chuck. What arbor can they put in the drive end of the lathe to make it spin? The arbor they have has a tab on the end that prevents it from spinning.
Okay, so you've got a 2 Morse taper lathe. The Jacob's chuck will fit on a Morse taper. If you've already got the chuck, which are kind of, you'll find somewhere on there, it might say B16, J16. If you haven't got the chuck, you'll buy the 2 together. Make sure they match up the arbor. These push in, tap it with a mallet. It will stay in there. Major thing, a bit like we've just done with polishing mop arm. Give it a good push when you're going to put it in there, all right, to make sure it sticks. Okay, but if you've got a 2 Morse taper lathe, you need a 2 Morse taper to fit the drill chuck. You can get, we used to sell a big drill chuck years ago, but that only had a 3/4 16 thread. You could screw it directly on the lathe if it was 3/4 16. Yours isn't because it's 2 Morse taper, so you'll need to have, all right, so hopefully that's cleared that. So you'll need, all right, keyless chucks are nicer. You'll pay more for them. You haven't got to find the key. All right, and oh wow, I can spend forever trying to find where I put that key. It's in the box with all the little bits of wood, I think. So, polishing mop arbor, stitch mop. That goes on. I could use a brown compound. We're going to use a white because we've got that white coloured sapwood. This is a buff compound. This is colour coded depending on what you are polishing. Right, stuff's just playing with the camera here, so we can get a bit of that, bit bad stuff. That was bad. All right, good. All right, so on here, I can buff that round. I could have put a bit of sealer in underneath. I would do this before I glue it together. So the buffing compound is going to cut back the sealer, fill the little end grain holes, and it's already adding a bit of shine. Okay, woo, shiny. Bit down on there. The nice thing we're using this as a polish, it's easy to rejuvenate. And I know we go over this lots and lots. It'll hold its shine better than anything else I can give you. Loose mop, what does that mean? Unstitched. G grade is better than B, it is softer. We want about 1800 RPM. Carnauba wax, very hard, glossy. Do not go with a beeswax carnauba blend. Needs to be pure carnauba. All right, that's really important. Again, work at about 8 to 9 o'clock on the mop face. Work around it. So we're going to do the body. That's going to give us something that's touch dry, instant, will hold that shine. If I did need to rebuff it, just back to that stage. But it will give you something that will hold that shine better than anything else. So let's take that off. Turn around and find the table. Let's move our chuck. We'll put that up on there. So we are bunny at this stage. I should obviously glue it together. Right, the ears quite easy to glue in. You'd need to buff everything before you glue it up. So I'd seal the ears and then buff those. A little bit of super glue would be good to glue the ears in and get them on. On the head to the body, a couple of elastic bands I found work really well, just to give you that little bit of PVI, stick it on. So you can have your head, you can even have it turned if you like. Well, it was, no, sorry, that wasn't meant as a pun. Right? You could have it on its side, you could have, okay. So you have that, all right. So hopefully you all understand how you're making your bunny for Easter. I hope you've enjoyed. You can give us a thumbs up, share it if you like. Fluffy, you can make a fluffy bunny if you want, okay. on that last line, I think the only way we can close this is that's all, folks. We'll see you next week. Bye then.